Hey everybody, welcome to Adam Makes Beer. Today I am at the awesome Depot Brewing here in Marrow. This is a brand new spot that just opened up and we have a whole bunch of cool things to show you today. Me and Taylor are going to be brewing up a Hazy Pale Ale. We're going to be talking about using a blend of new and used equipment and some of the things that you can do to make the best beer you can with equipment that's not familiar to you. We're going to be talking about their reverse osmosis system. We're going to be talking about the first brew house I've worked with that has heating elements underneath the falls bottom so you can heat that mash through your recirculation, which is interesting. We're gonna be doing it all. Anyways, this could be a blast. Let's get inside and make some beer. Today's brew day is brought to you by my friends at Blickman Engineering. Starting a brewery is a big step. Blickman Engineering is there to help. Since 2006, they've equipped hundreds of Nano breweries for success. Their new 3.5 barrel Pro Surface electric brewing system cuts maintenance and saves at least 30 minutes per brew with powerful under kettle heating. From 1 to 15 barrel brew houses to keg washers and grain mills, Blickman has what you need. Ready to go pro? Contact Phil or Tom at proseries@blickmanengineering.com. What kind of system are you working with here?
3.5 barrel Nano brew house. Nice little guy, very manual with a pump tree in the middle, digital and touch controls. It's all electric. Same as the HLT.
Sure.
Works very well. I do run in metric. Enjoy that it has that option too. Very few things I would change about it.
Yeah.
Overall, been a very good system and great support from them as well on figuring it out.
Awesome, man.
We got some secondhand fermenters as well, stout-like. No markings on them anywhere, of course.
Yeah.
But and then a couple more of the 7-barrel SS tanks on the end there.
Nice. Some of the fermenters, were they used?
They were used in storage. Got them over at Carrican, actually.
Nice.
Not sure where they originated from.
Yep.
If they had them there and then upgraded at a point. But they were in storage, needed some love. So they're 5-barrel, so got a little extra space to.
Is this a 3-barrel system?
3.5.
3.5. Nice.
Yeah, so
nice.
And I've gotten a lot of my losses and efficiencies under control.
Sure.
Getting the full 7 keg complement, going a little over, over spec on the brew side to account for those losses and whatnot.
Sure. You guys have been open since when?
Opened June 20th. First batches would have been end of May.
Yep.
Getting the ales and the seltzer in first to have those ready for open.
Yep.
And then lagers in just after, so they trailed a bit into early July for their release.
So you've had a chance to turn it a little bit and kind of figure out the little things that come with every new system.
Oh yeah, definitely on turn 3 for a couple different styles. Actually just one. The amber's on batch 3, but on batch 2 for most everything.
Awesome.
Filling out the board, we had a lot of collaborations to help fill out for open. I think we just killed the last of those this last week, so we'll have everything on the board, ours other than the cider that we keep on as well.
Nice.
Getting the water bed in there. It's got a nice mill false bottom. Everything is designed to scale. Yeah, no worries. Everything was designed to scale for the place. A lot of places wouldn't want to, groups wouldn't want to go with less than a 5-barrel on the professional side, and the one I used before was 7. But the problem with the 7, which was one of several issues there, was it made so much beer that then sat and, if not moved, wasted. I've already probably brewed here more times than I did there.
Yeah.
Just for the volume and variety. The idea was to brew less quantity more often, keep it fresh, change it up.
Absolutely.
And get more repetitions in to narrow in on getting the recipes where I want them to be. Yeah, it's worked out that way. Definitely getting a good arm workout, paddling in rather than...
Right?
Yeah, the last one was a state-of-the-art, fully automated, mechanized Alpha brewing system.
Yeah. Steam
jacket, absolutely worked great. Lovely system. And draining out. Oh man, so much nicer. But this is fun. I'm hoping that like when we do collaborations with other places, and eventually have some here, which it's not a lot of yield, so it's definitely going to be more for fun.
Sure.
But I'm hoping that when people come by, that they'll get a bit of enjoyment from those that are maybe stepping down a good deal in size.
Sure.
And enjoying something a little bit more hands-on.
Sure.
Because I certainly have.
There is something to a manual system now. You can see the valve tree here in the center, right underneath the control panel.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice. Kettle right over here.
Yeah, and this is fun. So it's got an internal calandria in it.
Oh, no kidding.
And it's has very, very good convection effect. That element really rips, and it's magnetically removable.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, that was a pretty fun aspect of the kettle. Yeah, it works extremely well.
Love it.
It's supposed to be, for the calandria, definitely a bit of excess hop utilization is the rep warned me of.
Is that something that you found that you got a little bit more bang for your buck out of your hop addition?
I think the jury's still out because of the change up in water from the municipal to the reverse osmosis. Like with the municipal, it was so hard and with so much sodium that it didn't matter how much hop I put in there.
Sure.
It wasn't gonna shine. So now, I think this double will probably be a better example. I think so far I'd say yes.
Yeah.
That it is more apparent and more true to recipe than previously.
Sure.
But at the same time, counterbalanced by the typical issue of in the boil, all the hops sticking to the top sides in an annoying fashion.
Sure.
And having to knock those back down in there. So I messed around with bagging them and hanging them on the side, but I didn't feel like it really
kind of getting them in solution the way you want.
Yeah. So it wasn't worth it. Yeah, I'd bag them in the boil and then empty them for the Whirlpool. And it worked okay, but I felt like the stuff in the middle of the bag didn't really see enough contact.
Sure.
So just going for it. But yeah, I feel like it's working out all right.
Nice, man.
All
So
right.
I see you got your grain pre-milled.
Yeah, we got our mill in the back there. Little job does well. Milled it out. Yeah, so we'll get on in there.
And so what's the ABV on this beer going to be today?
I believe on this one we're aiming for, I think this one's 5.4. I'm going to double check the sheet on there.
Yep. So how many pounds of grain do you usually need in order to get that type of ABV in a beer?
A lot of the beers are around 300 poundage, and this one's, I'd say right about on that mark. Manufacturer recommended just about that amount as maximum. Definitely exceeded that. It's gone fine. I have been fortunate not to have stuck anything yet. I'll go and throw the salts in there too.
For sure.
Good amount of salt in this one. This being a hazy pale ale, and second run. The first one could not be considered hazy by most standards.
What salts are you usually adding for a hazy pale like this?
Sure. So today, I definitely go for the full gamut. I use Beersmith and have confidence in its measurements.
Sure.
A lot of people use Brew and water, but I'd rather not use multiple things.
Sure.
Beersmiths work just fine for me. You got gypsum, calcium chloride, Epsom salts, table salt. And there is some chalk in there.
Okay.
Some people don't enjoy, but I have not had an issue with chalk either.
Sure.
The advice that I had found, especially since I am working with RO, and by nature of this guy here as I'm going to get started, in order to maintain mash temp, since it's single walled,
Yep.
there are bar elements in the bottom under the false bottom. And so recirculation is key.
Yep.
So since I will essentially be you know, over Vorlaufing this more than you would want for a hazy. Definitely need to just do as much as I can to make the water do the work.
Sure.
So a bit more chloride than a typical hoppy pale ale would have.
So right now you still have water coming in.
Yep.
But then in order to kind of hit and hold and maintain these temperatures, you have a Vorlauf going, which is coming in right over here. And there's also elements underneath that's helping to heat that Vorlauf that's coming back to the tank in order to help maintain the temperature.
Absolutely. So yeah, I've got the regulation on the board, and it will make sure to maintain the wort temperature as it comes through the collection arm.
Yep.
It'll give me a mash temp read as well, but it measures the wort for the regulation. I do it just open, no attachment to start out until I'm done mashing again, just to try to not foul up the recirculation arm that I'll be putting on.
Okay, so there's going to be an arm that goes on there.
Yeah, so
for sure.
There'll be an arm that'll better disperse the liquid.
Yep.
But I was definitely just filling that with particles if I put it on too soon.
Yeah.
Just to help get it there and make sure that we're starting at a good temperature. It's a little low right now, so just make sure that we're starting at a good temperature.
So a cool feature that they do have the electrical elements underneath the false bottom. So on that recirc, you can go ahead and, you know, raise that temperature, tweak that temperature a little bit. It's probably very nice when you're initially getting used to the system as well, so you can kind of adjust for those little correction points that you want to be able to hit when it's early on when you're using new equipment. How many of those bins will it take?
I've got 4 of those bins and then 3 more buckets.
Okay. Reduces the need for that gym membership.
God.
What kind of base malt do you usually like to run in beers like this?
For this guy, I get my base from Origin Malt.
Yep.
So this is their low protein brewer's malt, the puffin grain. And I treat that as pale.
Sure.
As well. Not much of a difference from what I can tell.
Okay, so does this panel, is this your flow meter?
That is volume.
Okay,
in hectoliters.
Okay,
so
volume in
100
hectoliters,
liters.
for sure. Beautiful.
Yeah, so it'll run on auto. Oh, another lovely feature, the HLT, it stops its fill.
Nice.
It stops its own fill, not going to overfill the HLT. Well, I have overfilled it, but that was on heat exchange runoff.
Sure.
And in early days of figuring out a good exchange rate.
Sure. Yeah, it's funny. One of my most responded to memes is one with Dwight Schrute running around screaming "No, no, no," and then there's a waterfall in the background. It's when you forget to turn the water off to your HLT. I think we've all overfilled those at one time or another. But those floats that will turn it off are a very, very cool feature. With a mass system like this that has those heating elements underneath, do you ever do, is that built to have the ability to do step mashes and different things like that?
It definitely can. The manufacturer said that it is not well suited for it.
Yep.
I think it's entirely possible. I raise temp at Vorlauf and runoff, and I feel like it raises perfectly fine.
Sure.
So I think you could honestly do a true and full step mash on this system. You might need to make it a 90-minute mash depending on how intensive you want to go.
Sure.
But I do think it would be possible, as I'm sure you're aware with modern grains, it's not as necessary.
Sure.
And might mess around with that on high gravity, or if I go for some 6-row pre-prohibition, something, or I really want to take care of it. I also just started using, after talking with the brewers over at Narrow Path, some glucanase enzyme.
Sure.
Because they similarly have a more vertical mash tun like this one.
Yep.
I haven't really had flow rate issues on runoff, but every little bit of efficiency I will take.
Sure.
And for the self-built profile from SS on Beersmith, they give it a 75% efficiency.
Yep.
I've upped it to 80, and I've definitely exceeded that sometimes. Still narrowing down on why, sure. But and I think honestly, the grist size definitely go a little bit smaller. Once again, trying to grab some efficiency and still not having a stuck bed issue.
Sure. So
smaller works out all right. Narrowing in on that, I think eventually I'll be able to confidently get most standard gravities to an 85 efficiency.
Yeah. And
I'd always knock 5 off for high gravity.
Yeah.
I may need to knock it down to maybe 8 off for high gravity based on the triple run that I did.
All right, so a little bit more grain to go in here. I am really interested in this Vorlauf that you can heat. It's a cool option to be able to have. And so you'll run right up pretty high to the top of that.
It's pretty high, yeah. I got 468 liters, whatever that is in freedom units.
Sure.
It's about a 2.6 to kilogram ratio. I think that probably comes to something like 3.8 is pretty typical for gallon to pound. So it's pretty close to that, pretty standard. But yeah, definitely full up. And once again, just sort of, most of the brews have been a little bit more voluminous on the mash.
Yep.
Than the, and then, so I'm sparging with something like 260 liters. Haven't really had issue with extract for the most part.
Sure.
And just with the verticality, the manual nature of needing to come back through and stir it all back in occasionally. I'm gonna grab the last bucket. It hasn't really been a big consideration. Not a big consideration at all.
Sure.
Rice hulls in there as well, since I've got all that oatmeal.
Sure.
Oats.
Just kind of ballpark what percentage of oats is in there. It doesn't have to be super exact.
Let's see, percentage of oats, I think it was about 6.
And those rice hulls are always good to kind of open up that bed anyways and keep it nice and flowable.
Yeah, absolutely. I haven't added them to everything. The mill that we got, it was from More Beer's professional line.
Yep.
It's big enough and pro enough for our size. Any bigger spot would not be suitable.
Yeah.
It boasts some mechanism where the wheels spin at a different rate to help shear the hull, the husk off, rather than crush it off.
Sure.
It does keep the husk pretty well intact.
Nice.
So that's been a nice feature of it.
And now you mentioned earlier that how you were taught, you were mentioning in one of the processes. Did you go to a program?
I went through the brewing science program at Cincinnati State.
Nice.
I was doing it pretty well, gosh, even less than half time while I was working in my insurance claims job previously.
Sure.
Didn't want to do that anymore. So it ended up taking me 4 years, even with my undergrad already done.
What were some of the advantages of the program?
I mean, I couldn't do it without that degree and education. The base knowledge of all the science, the fundamentals, definitely understanding why and how something works helps me with understanding how to do it better.
Yes.
And especially with troubleshooting, because as I tell everyone, brewers are chemists, physicists, mechanical engineers, plumbers, electricians, so all of it, and cooks. And so having to troubleshoot problems requires that understanding. And then I certainly had the practical applications in the practical classes, and then co-op. So this is the recirculation arm.
Very cool.
sort of just sits in there on the grain bed eventually, once one settles in a bit. Yeah, just getting a lot of that flow through there.
I see.
Make sure no clogs, looks like, so we're good. Go ahead and start some timers.
How long will this rest in there like that?
We'll keep it at, I just do one rest temp. It's an hour mash. I'll stir it at about 10 and 20 minutes. And then at 20 minutes left, I'll switch to proper Vorlauf plate. Let it finish out that way, get the temp raised up a little bit. Also haven't had any conversion issues so far. Oh, I do need to get acid in there though.
Yeah, I've not seen one of those recirculation units before. Pretty cool. It's always interesting to see how different people get things done with their equipment. So has it been a little bit of an adjustment getting used to that RO water compared to that water before? Because I brewed with, I'm assuming, very similar water up the road when I was at Cartridge. When we were first there,
God, I hope not. It was awful.
it was, oh, I'm telling you, it was so hard.
Yeah.
It was so hard. It threw scale everywhere. You know, I've had that thing where it's almost like it kind of builds up like layers of eggshell in your HLT. And it's like, why am I losing efficiency on my HLT?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, sounds very similar then.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a bit of adjustment. Honestly, it was one of those things where, like, we knew we needed the carbon filter because everyone does,
Sure.
and the water here is very chlorinated.
Yep.
And working with Scott, the owner, and setting everything up, I'm like, hopefully that's all we need.
Sure.
But we may need more. But let's try it out and we'll see what's up.
Sure.
And then after the scaling destroyed the HLT elements, which is absolutely baffling how bad it was.
How so quickly?
And I definitely take responsibility for underestimating how bad the water was and the scale effect, even trying to knock it off each time. Yeah, like we can't.
Sure.
And also there was like no head retention going on. The hop character was just not there.
Yeah.
Like the water was a problem,
Sure.
and the RO was very necessary. The biggest thing is just having to adjust salts.
Sure.
And
having a calculator you trust is a good thing. Is this the first time that you've worked with RO water? Have you worked with RO water at another place?
I did, but it was on the distilling side.
I see.
And for manufacturing of the seltzers and sodas,
Sure.
with grain neutral spirit.
Do you like to use lactic, phosphoric? What do you like to do for those adjustments?
I prefer phosphoric. I feel like it's pretty neutral.
Sure.
And it has a good buffering capacity.
When you switched to RO, did you see a difference in the volume of acid that you typically had to use?
Well, I'd say yes and no. I had to use a good amount to counteract the hardness of the water,
Yep.
but now I'm using more salt,
Sure, yes.
much more salt
Yep.
than I was.
Yes.
So it's kind of evened out.
So I see you got a little stirring again here on the mash tun.
Yeah, I was waiting for your camera there to do another stir. That's the timer to switch to Vorlauf, so that's good timing. Yeah, if I'm not circulating while the heat's running, it will get pretty darn hot.
Oh, I bet. I bet.
And down in that bottom, so to avoid scorching anything, pull this out of here since it's coming out anyway. It's always fun, not trying to not drop the O-rings down into the mash.
Sure.
One of the things I would have done differently in construction for this is that the temperature probe doesn't have an integral thermal well.
Okay.
So I always have to be cognizant of not bashing the crap out of it.
Sure.
And no integral thermal wells on these fermenters either.
So this is this little Vorlauf arm that can go on there. That's cool.
Yep, just a little plate. Yeah, I was talking with my buddy Doug down at Wooden Cask. They had done an excessively large mash, and that their Vorlauf plate was under the water level at that point. So I'm also gonna, that's kind of funny looking. It's doing something.
Yeah, exactly. It's still doing its thing. Absolutely.
Yeah. So we're gonna raise the temp up a little bit, not to full mash out, but higher.
And with this Vorlauf going, how long will it take to climb those degrees?
A little low since I turned the element off. It should start climbing in a sec, but it'll reach that definitely by the end of mash. It climbs pretty quick. That recirculation really helps, and you can see the the bars later in there, but they are pretty big.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of contact, and I mean it's just raised 1 Celsius since you asked that question.
Yeah. Nice.
So
I see it kind of ticking
you can see
away
it climbing
here.
up
Yeah.
as it goes.
Very
So
cool.
it's pretty quick. Like I said before, I on the previous brew house it was all steam, which is great. I had my issues with it for some temperature regulation, but that was more about just mash clumping on the probe.
Yep.
Which I have not had issue with here. And I wasn't, it's not like I was going grist heavy on those brews there either.
Yeah.
The steam would run and call and not be necessary. And then I'd be like well over mash temp before I realized that the issue. Wondering, well, why is the heat still on? Like we've been at temp for a while. This is double walled. I don't get it. The electric has been very easy to do, and it's already at temp.
Love it.
Yeah, that was quick.
Love it. How much longer do you have on the Vorlauf?
10 minutes.
Nice.
Yeah, 10 minutes. We'll finish off our mash, and then we'll be good to start the runoff into the kettle there.
You're wrapping the Vorlauf, and then you're gonna start lautering over the kettle?
Yeah, so Vorlauf's done, and it's time for runoff. Kettle measure. Essentially for the start, one virtue of the more vertical mash tun is that I can just run off by gravity for a while. So just crack that open and come out there. That's about all the flow I want.
So you're coming out through the Whirlpool arm right now.
Mm-hmm.
Why am I not? My eyes are so bad in these glasses, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, okay. Here's the deal. These glasses do not have a new prescription for me. I was just telling Taylor before, and so now I have to hold things really far away. It's not a good situation. I need new glasses. Okay, so yes, you can actually see, I'm sitting here looking at Whirlpool where the word is coming through right now. I see that temp probe right over there.
Yep.
And then where you're going to be drawing wort off, where you'll be casting out through with a little hop dam there in front of it. And then in the back there is the dump to the entire kettle.
Yeah, that's the dump there.
Nice.
And then the last piece would be that other little well. It's just a dry fire sensor.
Yep.
For the kettle element.
Nice.
I get it started as soon as I can. So
Sure.
once it gets a little bit above that dry fire, which is about the same height as that Whirlpool port,
Yep.
I'll go ahead and kick the heat on.
Mhm.
And in fact, I'm going to raise the mash tun one now to a more appropriate mash out temp.
Once your kettle full, how long does it? How hot are you when you typically get kettle full?
When the kettle's full, I should be at least above 80 C.
Yep.
If I'm luckier, closer to about 85 C, and then it's maybe another 20 minutes or so
Sure.
to get to
Sure.
boil
Nice.
after that. Yeah, because of the function of the calandria and the convection from the heat, I'm not worried about scorching because it forces that liquid up and out, just like a coffee percolator, very well.
Yep.
So there's not liquid that is staying in the calandria for very long.
Yep.
Before it is emerging out of the top vents there.
Nice.
And then somewhat of a consideration that I've had to kind of figure out is that because I have, in trying to combat losses and work on efficiencies, I definitely exceed the highest tick mark of measurement on the kettle measure. It goes to 135. I usually go to about 140 per gallons to reach my appropriate measurement there. And that is pretty well covering the entire calandria.
Yep.
So that hat is under work. Set a timer for an hour 30.
Yep.
As a pretty appropriate runoff time. Yeah, like I said before, I haven't had any stuck bed issues or runoff issues. Definitely was running off a little too fast on the first number of brews as I was learning the system.
Sure.
But even then, the beers worked fine.
Yep.
Just had a bit of more loss than I'd like. Been getting my full complement of kegs on the last few runs, so feeling good about that. And then, yeah, pretty much just don't even mess with the pump until that Whirlpool port is covered.
Sure.
And start getting some head resistance. It's
Sounds
going along,
good.
So we'll be able to let that go. We'll get the sparge going once that wort level drops down a little bit further. The way I was taught was to maintain an inch or two above the grain bed and just match the runoff with the sparge rate.
You know, and something that we're going to talk about probably quite frequently today is, you know, getting used to new equipment or new to you equipment, right? And one of the things that I liked about what Taylor is discussing is try different things. Be mindful of your processes, how they're working on this new equipment or this different equipment. I think it's a really smart way to go. You want to be able to try out different things in order to find out what's going to work best for this new equipment that you're working on. All right, so we're about to get started on this sparge. Let's dip over here and check out this attachment.
I got the volume set, got it open, sparge arm attached, and set to fairly low pump rate. It'll sparge to the target volume and then cut off.
Oh, interesting, nice.
Yeah, it's a nice function of the solenoid.
Sure.
For the volume control. It's definitely a proper semi-auto brew house with automatic controls in a lot of the places that they're best served.
Sure. So we're about 25 minutes into the lauder right now. Am I reading my clock right over here?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so we're still pretty low on volume, only at 30 gallons drawn out of 140. Probably open that up a little bit more. It's never going to go in full third for the, every 30 minutes.
Oh, sure.
As that first amount's going to take a little bit longer.
Yeah, I always like to run it a little slower at the beginning. I feel like you can kind of get that grain bed set.
Yeah.
And then get it all dialed in.
Yeah, it's definitely high. Smells great.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, the first one with oats here. Did rye a couple weeks ago, and it's definitely sticky.
Sure.
But
flaked rye or malted rye?
Malted rye.
Yeah.
And definitely sticky, but similarly, not a problem. I did have that glucanase at that point. So
Yep.
That was nice to have.
Yep.
With that.
Then you getting your CIP going over here on your
Yeah,
tank?
about to get that started. I wanted to make sure the sparge was going
Sure.
and could do a little bit more. I do sparge salts into the boil kettle. I don't really see the point of putting them in here. And I'll get acid in there in a little bit. I was looking at the sheet and forgot to mention the carafoam. Always a bit of carafoam in there.
Okay. What do you like about what the carafoam does for you?
Just giving that head retention.
Sure.
Pretty well the deal there. Don't have anything against any other dextrin malts. I've just used carafoam before.
Sure.
And so yeah, usually you get about 2 to 3% in each brew.
Yep. How much more water do you have to go in there?
It's 40 liters.
Are you still running gravity at this point, or is there any pumping going on?
It's still been gravity, and it's moving, it looks like. But I'll probably switch to the pump here and switch the heat. We'll go ahead and start pumping.
So what that's doing is that's filling up through that column, and then it's being heated through that column and returning it to the surface of the wort. At some point, does it actually start spraying up into kind of the bottom of that cymbal right there and kind of spray back down, or does it just roll?
It pretty well just rolls.
Yep.
Yeah. So once it's full, it'll move more volume, especially once it's faster. Like it gets rolling pretty
Sure.
hard once it's at temp. But no, it doesn't spray so aggressively as that.
Yeah.
And so once it's full, it'll move more volume, especially once it's faster. Like it gets rolling pretty hard once it's at temp. But no, it doesn't spray so aggressively as that.
Is that controlled with a separate pump? Is that like a preset that it runs on, or is that something you control the flow rate through the calandria?
No, that is all physics.
Okay.
Yeah, that is all just heat expansion and convection.
Yep.
So there is nothing other than the heat of the coil and lending to the wort that is forcing the volume up through the calandria.
That's pretty slick, man.
Yeah.
And you can see that wort still kind of whirlpooling in along the side as it fills. About another 40 minutes left in the louder ballpark.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, we're on a good pace.
And you said we're just about on the. You said we're just about on the tail end of this barge here?
Yeah, we're at 185 out of 200 liters.
Nice. So at this point, you're really just going to drain this bed through.
Yep.
And then we're continuing to rock the lauder over here, coming up. Now, are you laudering a little bit faster at this stage than you were earlier on?
I don't know that it would be necessarily faster. I've only got the pump at 12% right now.
Yep.
And I'm about to kick it up because I'm not seeing movement. So I started to see, so like I just saw it kick back up a little bit. It will break the foam over there with that Whirlpool effect. So just sort of make sure that I'm seeing movement the whole time, not looking for aggressive movement.
Sure.
So the pump is with the head pressure of the level above the port should be maintaining about the same rate as I was without the pump.
Yep.
I just need the pump this time. So I'll definitely, it'll speed up a little bit more later on. We just passed 80 gallons. We're over halfway full and with 35 minutes left, so we're on a good pace.
These fill measures are convenient. I've had them before where I've made them myself. And it's nice to have something that's actually from the manufacturer.
Yeah.
This has a condenser stack. How does that work for you?
I don't use the spray, so I just vent the steam, and it hasn't been overwhelming.
Yeah.
It's such a use of water to do that is pure waste, and it's a big enough room, and the cooling, like there is a crap ton of cooling in here.
Sure. And we're coming up to kettle full over here.
Yeah, we just passed the hour-and-a-half mark, which is the minimum. We'll be well ahead of 2 hours. Just keep monitoring the pump, picking it up if I need to. We're approaching 85 Celsius at this level already, so we'll be at a good spot once it's full for it to finish up getting to boil.
Nice. All right, so you got all the hard work out of the way. You got that thing grained out. Love it.
Yeah, got the
and then so these are these heating elements below it.
Yep.
Super interesting.
Yeah, so they got a good amount of coverage and trying to hit wort before reaching those 5 collection ports.
Sure.
And they do a great job.
What are these? There's 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 in the center. These little knobs sticking up. Are they spray heads?
Yeah, those are lower CIP heads.
Nice. We got our rolling boil here.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, so it'll go for, I need to set some timers here.
For sure. How long of a boil do you usually do?
Usually an hour. If it's a higher gravity, I'll do 90 minutes. And sometimes for a lot of Pilsner, I'll do 90 minutes. Still, I haven't had a DMS problem either though, so
sure.
Feeling good about that. But yeah, so I got 90 minutes on this one, but there are no hop additions until 30 minutes.
Nice.
For the more aromatic pale ale setup.
Sure.
So I've got 30 minutes and then 5 minutes on this one.
How does this tend to handle hop additions? Does it want to boil up or does it stay pretty calm?
It stays decently calm, and I think a lot of it is because of the already turbulent nature of the calandria.
Yep.
That it doesn't do a lot. I mean, it looks calm right now because I got the top open, and it drops down to 99.6 instead of 100 C. And if I close it, it'll get back to 100, and it will foam up. I had definitely had some foam over on some brews, but not in a while.
Nice.
It's been just fine in that regard. And I'm gonna grab a little sample out of there. Now that it's all been mixed up and it's all in there, tend to wait until it's moving around at just the beginning of the boil.
Sure.
Just did a CIP on this on Friday.
Yeah, it looks shiny in there, man.
Yeah. You can get about 3 or 4 brews with a good rinse before needing to clean it thoroughly again.
Sure. Yeah, pretty slick.
And I usually hit the elements with a little spray bottle acid,
Sure.
just to try to get that mineral off there.
Yep. All right, so we're gonna get jumping on our first hop edition. That happens how far into the boil on this?
30 minutes.
30 minutes, all right.
We've got a mixture of Citra and Amarillo hops.
All right, what we got coming up right now?
We're going to add in our Whirlpool
Yep.
and yeast nutrient at the 10-minute mark here.
What do you like to use for nutrient?
I have yeast X right now.
Yep.
From BSG.
Excellent. What do you have coming up next as far as with the boil?
Next with the boil is going to be the 5-minute hop edition, which will be more Citra and Amarillo.
Sure.
And then once that's in, we'll be able to flame out and get the Whirlpool started.
Nice. Heck yeah, man. Okay, so when we're looking down at these little CIP heads here, I just asked, is there just like a small pinhole that sprays out of the top, or what's the deal with those?
There's a ring under each of those plates with a notch in it, so when it is forced up, it'll shoot out the side, and I can actually demonstrate pretty
Okay,
easily.
yeah, I would be interested in seeing some liquid go through them.
Spray out there.
Ah, okay. I see.
Oh, ran out of water there. Oh, we got a little demonstration.
Right. Yeah, no, absolutely. Okay, so that's cool. That makes sense. That makes sense. So it blasts through there like that. All right, there's a few more minutes on this boil and some little Whirlpool action coming up.
Oh, yeah. More Citra and Amarillo. And, of course, in greater quantity since it's later in the boil. And the key to this lid is open it all the way and quickly from the side.
Yeah.
There's no peeking,
Sure.
or you're just going to get a steam burn. Well, almost 4 minutes left on the boil, and then we'll be ready to Whirlpool.
Nice.
You can get the pump going. The rule of thumb is a walking pace. I walk quickly. Going for about 40% on the pump.
Sure. Nice. And how long is your Whirlpool for?
Should be whirlpooling for about 20 minutes here. I'll set a timer for that. And then rest it typically about 10 to 15. Sort of keep an eye on it and see when it's done moving.
And you do have that racking arm on the bottom of the kettle as well, which is nice.
Yeah, that works very, very well. It does a good job of just forcing a directed collection from behind the hop dam.
All right, so that's going to do it for my time back in the brewery today. It was a lot of fun following Taylor around through the brew day and being able to take a deep dive on what Depot Brewing has going on. If you're in the Marrow area, make sure to stop by. As always, make sure to check out my wonderful sponsors, Blickman Engineering, for all of your equipment needs, and Brewed Fiscally if you need some help on the financial side. If you have any questions or comments about today's video, please drop them down below. Anyways, hope you have a great day. Bye.